What's going on, guys? Where the hell has Patrick James been? That's the question of the century. More like the year because it's the beginning of the year. But anyways, here I am on a live Q&A. Now, if you follow me on my email newsletter, then you know that we're doing a live Q&A to promote my new book that's coming out, as well as answer some of the questions that you guys have had over the last month or so since I've been gone from YouTube. But that said, if you are on my YouTube subscriber list, but you are not yet on my email list, go and get on my email list at swaggersocial.com, because that's where I'm going to be releasing the book, and that's where we've been delivering a lot of value every single day to the email list. I've been doing Q&As over there every single day. So, the YouTube Q&A, it's one of like the last 10 we've done this year alone. So go join my email list, swaggersocial.com. Now, let's get to some live questions. Now, let me lay some groundwork here on what we're going to be doing. All right. So I'm going to be hanging out for the next hour or so, interacting with you, answering some of your questions, answering some of the questions that have been submitted to me on my email list already. And at the end and throughout the live call here, we're going to be talking about my new book coming out here in the next week or so. It's called 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. I'm so excited. Let's get started, my man. All right, so I have a few questions here planned, just because I know it takes a few minutes or so to get people to come into the live call. So we can start with some of the questions that have already been submitted. All right, so this was actually a YouTube comment, and he said, it was Demon 6937. He said, how to know if the girl is hitting on me. All right, I love this question because obviously you got to know if a girl's interested in you or if she's hitting on you, so that you can confidently, continue to interact with her and flirt with her. And obviously you don't want to be drop something. You don't want to be flirting with a girl if she's not receptive to you, right? So I like this question, but because I like this question does not mean that it's a good question. All right, so here's what I mean. How do you know if a girl's hitting on you? Truth is, why are you so busy looking for signs that she's interested in you, signs that she's attracted to you, right? They actually did a study that men, their brains, they're just like the way we work. We don't pick up on social cues as quickly as women do, right? Women are biologically wired to have to pick up on biological cues faster. So on average, it takes about 8 signs of attraction, 8 attempts that a girl will try to show her attraction for you before you even realize it. Now, that's what research has shown. And if that's at all accurate, why the hell are you trying to look for signs? Because chances are, by the time you finally find one, she's been trying to send you signals for minutes, maybe even hours at that point. So why the hell are you trying to look for signs that she's attracted to you? Now, if you really want to know the actual signs that she's attracted to you, I've made a YouTube video in the past about, I think it's called How to Know If a Girl is Into You, or How to Know If a Girl's Attracted to You, whatever it is. You can go look at that video, right? But if you truly want to know if a girl's hitting on you, I recommend not looking for the signs, because if you're too busy looking for the signs, then you're not present in the conversation. You're not present to the moment. You're not thinking about how you can offer value to this conversation. You're thinking about, oh, is this girl into me? What should I do? Is that a sign of attraction, right? You're putting yourself in your own head. So here's what I recommend instead. Assume that she's attracted to you. Assume that every girl you talk to is on some level attracted to you, right? That way you can fit the way you're going to interact with her based on that context, right? So if you're in a bar or a nightclub, or if you're at a party of some sort, or if you're at a social gathering with your friends and this girl gets introduced to you, just assume that she's already attracted to you on some level. And if she isn't already attracted to you, she soon will be. Just assume all positive things and then go from there. Now, from there, it doesn't mean you go over the top and flirt with her over the top and, just be really weird and creepy about it. Just be a cool, chill, charismatic guy who knows how to spark tension when the moment calls for it, who knows how to see the window of opportunity when he sees his opportunity, go through the window of opportunity. And if you don't know what a window of opportunity is, it's not looking for a sign of attraction. It's looking for, okay, this conversation is very light and playful. Now let's start connecting with each other and see if she's someone that I want to bring into my life. And then from there you transition to, all right, let's see if there's any sexual chemistry here, right? Knowing how to go through those windows of opportunity is very crucial. But as far as looking for signs of, is this girl attracted to me? Don't, right? Just assume all positive things, all right? So that's called assumed attraction. That's what I recommend to Demon6937. I saw a comment pop up. Malad Hashimi said, yo, Patrick, do I know Jason Capital? Yes, I do know Jason Capital. Thank you for the question. I see a lot of you guys commenting like, Patrick, your vibe is very similar to Jason Capital, or your videos, your advice is very similar to Jason Capital. Here's the truth, man. I used to coach for Jason Capital. He used to pay me to run an online dating mastermind for him. Excuse me. So yeah, I know Jason Capital really well. He was actually here in Phoenix last month and in October, and we partied together in Old Town Scottsdale. So yeah, I know Jason Capital really well. I've known him for 4 years at this point. So yeah, we're good friends, and he actually helped me get started as a dating coach myself. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Any other questions you guys had? Like I said, I'm here to hang out for the next hour or so, and if you have any questions, just comment on them. I'm here to talk about my new book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. I can talk more about that, but if not, I also have these questions that you guys have already submitted to me that I'm willing to just fall back on and start answering. So until we get more comments, I'm going to go to another question. So a guy commented on one of my videos about body language, and he said, this guy's name is Creighton76, and he said, eye contact is bad because when she doesn't like you, she thinks you are sex pervert. All right. Man. All right. So this is another one. All right. Creighton, he assumes that if he has strong eye contact, that she's not going to like him, right? He's assuming bad things. But if you just heard what I said to Demon6937, assume all positive things. Assume she's already attracted to you, and if she isn't giving you signs, if she doesn't know herself that she's already attracted to you, assume that after getting to know you for a few minutes, she will be attracted to you. Always assume positive things. That might sound cocky, that might sound arrogant, but don't knock it till you try it. Because I promise you this, you are missing out with more women than you can even possibly imagine if you're busy looking for the signs of attraction, or if you're busy waiting for her to give you signs of attraction before you start flirting with her, before you start sparking attraction with her, before you start acting like a cool, charismatic, attractive man, all right? So always assume positive things. Now, here's the thing about eye contact. Eye contact is great. Strong eye contact, strong, laser focused, dominant, relaxed eye contact is great, especially if you're talking to this girl in a social environment, especially if you're in an environment where there's a lot of distractions around you, right? If you can't hold her attention in a one-on-one conversation, then you're not going to be able to attract her. You're not going to be able to interact with her attractively. You're not going to be able to create sexual chemistry and tension there, right? So eye contact is big. Not only because it's attractive in itself and it shows that you can handle tension, but also because it maintains attention, right? If I'm looking around the room as I'm talking to the camera too much and I don't ever look at the camera, then you're going to lose attention. The same thing goes for when you're talking to a girl one-on-one. Even if you talk to people, like pay attention to this the next time you talk to one of your friends or something. If you're talking to them one-on-one and you're constantly looking around the room and your eyes are always shifting up, down, look around, right? They're going to start looking around the room too. They're going to be like, what is this guy looking at, right? And when that happens, you no longer have their attention. You can no longer influence them. You can no longer attract them if you can't hold strong eye contact with them. So there is one caveat to this though. You are right. If you hold only strong eye contact and you're talking to a girl, but you do nothing else, then yeah, that seems creepy. It seems like you're a sex pervert. There's an old phrase that says, if you hold strong eye contact with something, you either want to eat it, fuck it, or kill it, right? Now, obviously, if you're talking to a girl, you want to fuck it. That's just like your natural instinct. But if you don't smile, if you don't convey any warmth while you're also holding strong eye contact, then it looks like you want to kill her. All right, so it's kind of like a catch-22. So you got to convey warmth. You got to convey. You got to have a warm smile on your face, and I call this the sly smile, right? I call this the sly smile. And in my book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl, secret number 3, chapter 3, is something called the most seductive gaze, right? It's the most seductive gaze known to man, and it involves 3 things, right? 3 things. First is the strong eye contact, right? Second thing is the sly smile. So what is the sly smile? The sly smile is almost like a smirk. It's a smirk, but the definition of a smirk is a one-sided mouth raise. So I'm going to try to do it like, right? That's a smirk, one-sided mouth raise. But the sly smile is a smirk plus the eye contact. You're smiling with your eyes. So what a genuine smile is when you have crow's feet around your eyes. It shows genuine happiness. It's called a micro expression. You may have heard of those, right? So here's a genuine smile. Right? Crow's feet, crow's feet. But if you smirk and smile with your eyes, that's a sly smile. Like that, right? See the difference between and this, right? One looks like you want to kill her. The other one looks like you're intrigued by her. You want to find more. You're attracted to her. It's called the bedroom eyes, right? So if you combine that with the strong, dominant, laser-focused, relaxed eye contact, and you just are present to the moment, that is the most seductive gaze known to man. And that's chapter 3. That's secret number 3 of 107 that I teach in my upcoming book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. I even give a lot of picture examples because I'm a visual learner myself. All right, so I did see another question. Malad Hashimi, he says, I am a sleight of hand artist, card tricks and all like expert level. I am in high school. What are some advantages I have? Ooh, I like this question, man. So a lot of people don't know this about me, Malad Hashimi. But I too used to be really big into sleight of hand card magic when I was in high school, when I was in college, and even after college. I was really big into it. And I would say that was one of my first passions ever. After basketball, of course. I was a huge basketball guy. But I would go all night before going to school. I wouldn't even sleep. I'd stand there in the mirror practicing how to do like a one-handed pass with my hands. That's like sleight of hand card magic talk, right? I used to practice card tricks, double lifts, things like that, right? And I would practice for 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day. I would pull all-nighters, and this went on into my 20s, early 20s, right? And a lot of the reason I got into dating advice is because I realized that my motivation for wanting to do that was I wanted to impress women. I wanted to be the guy who was the center of attention. And I felt like, just wait until I bust one of these card tricks out at a party. All these girls are going to be so attracted to me, right? But I realized very quickly after I started dating some girls and I wanted to show them all these magic tricks that they weren't really into them. Right? They could care less, right? They care more about me and not about the magic trick. And after getting my heart broken several times by girls who I had tried to impress with my magic tricks, I realized like, shit, this isn't working. I'm gonna readjust my approach to attracting women, meeting women, and dating the women that I wanted. And so I actually started working on myself, working on my conversational skills, working on attraction, sparking attraction, working on my banter, working on breaking the touch barrier, right? And what I found very quickly, Malad Hashimi, was that working on myself and working on my social skills was 100 times more effective than magic tricks, right? So to bring this back to your question, I think you have a lot of advantages, right? Because you have passion, you have a mission in your life, right? And so you have something you're constantly working towards. And so for you, if magic is your thing and that's your passion and that's what you want, that's your calling in life, that's great. For me, it wasn't, but for you, if it is, make that your number one priority in life. Make that your number one mission in life, and then women should come number 2 to your mission, right? So that said, like having a mission in life, that's a very attractive trait. It's one of those things that if you're a man, regardless of how good you are at banter, regardless of whatever push-pull lines, whatever, like how good you are at the seduction process, regardless of all that stuff, one of the many things, one of the several things that I teach in my book that will make a woman absolutely obsessed with you and addicted to you is having a man who has a bigger purpose in his life, who she can join him along that ride for, right? So if being the world's best sleight of hand card magician is your calling in life, make that your number one priority. Work so hard, become obsessed with that yourself, and then attract women along the way using what I teach and using what I teach in my videos and in my upcoming book. And I guarantee whatever girl comes into your life and you attract her, she's going to become absolutely addicted to you. She's not going to be able to resist you, and she's going to be devastated if you ever break up with her, or if you feel like, or if you tell her that she's not good enough for you, right? Just to give you a personal example, I have a girlfriend now who's very high status, if you will. She has a lot of things going on in her life. She's very attractive, right? But she's told me several times, Patrick, I would be devastated if you broke up with me. Why does she say that? Because I'm constantly, when I'm not around her, I'm constantly working on my own path, on my own mission, delivering value to the thousands of guys who follow me. I'm constantly working on something that I prioritize above her. Now, that doesn't mean I don't prioritize her at all. It means I have a bigger calling in life. And because of that, I hold the power, my masculine power, right? I have the ability to be fulfilled without her. All right, if that makes sense, give me a thumbs up, man. So back to your question, Malad Hashimi, that's what I would recommend. So that's your advantage, is you have something that's more important to you than just chasing women around for the rest of your days. All right, if that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. So I saw a couple of other comments come in. Patrick, how do you just free flow and say literally whatever you want and maintain high status? Ooh, I love this question. So someone mentioned Jason Capital earlier. Yes, I know Jason Capital. And in fact, I spoke at 2 of his events, the Badass Mentor Retreat, which was in Miami. I also spoke at, he changes the name every time. I spoke at one of his events in Orange County, and one of the times I spoke at his event in front of 350 guys was about this exact topic, about being free-flowing in conversation, about being attractive in conversation, okay? So here's my answer to this, right? There's a filter that exists between your head and your mouth, right? Before a thought comes from here and goes out here, there's a filter, right? All you have to do to be free-flowing in conversation and to say whatever you want in a high-status way is to get rid of that filter. That's it. Get rid of the filter, right? The second the thought pops up, just say it. And it might be one of those things that, easy for you to say. You've been doing it for so long, but that's exactly my point. I've been doing it for so long that now it's just a natural habit. Now, how do you make that high status? Well, one, you don't say things that lower your status, like, oh my God, I fucking hate myself. I'm a bitch, right? You talk negatively about yourself. You talk negatively about the other people. Being a negative person is a low status trait. I don't like to use the word status because I feel like Jason Capital overuses it. So I try to explain things in a different way from a different perspective. But being completely negative or talking negatively about yourself, especially, there's attractive ways to be self-deprecating, but if you're constantly negative, that's low status. Or if you complain a lot, that's low status, right? So being a high status, free-flowing conversational guy, all you have to do is get rid of the filter and only filter out the stuff that is low status. So the way I would recommend doing that is not necessarily filtering, but changing your thoughts, changing the way you think in general, right? Have affirmations, have positive thought loops, and those will naturally make everything you say high status. The other thing that makes what you say high status is if you do not care how other people feel about what you say, right? Low status people give a shit what other people think of them, right? So if you are speaking, right, the only reason you filter what you say is because you care what the other person thinks. That's the only reason. Let's think about that. The only reason you have a filter between here and here is because you care too much about what other people think. So if you want to be a high status conversationalist who free flows naturally, one, you got to practice it, right? It doesn't come overnight, but it will come eventually, like after a week or 2 of practicing it. But 2, you got to stop caring so much about what other people think, right? If you say something and it offends somebody, don't apologize for offending them. Apologize for them getting offended at what you said, right? There's a key difference. Don't apologize for offending them. Apologize for the fact that they got offended, right? Because you can't control them. You can't control how they feel about what you say. You can only control yourself. Okay. So one practical exercise to take action on this, if you really want to learn how to free flow, is the next time you can feel like you either care a lot about what this other person is thinking about you, or you're too in your head, right? You're playing all these mental movies of what if I say this, what happens if I do that. Stop it, right? For the next 10 seconds, this is the practical exercise. For the next 10 seconds after you realize that, just give yourself the permission. I give you the permission. Take the permission from me. Give yourself the permission to say anything that comes on into your mind for the next 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds, okay? Challenge yourself. Make it a game. 10 seconds, say whatever comes to your mind, right? So this is good if, not only if you care about what other people say, but also if you find yourself running out of things to say. All right, if you find yourself, you're at a loss of words, you don't really know what to say, you don't know what to talk about, you run out of things to say, that's when you bust out this exercise. So, for example, right, if you're talking to a girl, you approach a girl and you walk up to her and you go, and you choke over your words and you're like, fuck, I don't know what to say here, right? And so rather than saying nothing, say that, because you still have thoughts. That is your thought. I don't know what to say. That's when you go, I'm going to be honest, I walked up here and I have nothing to say. I thought you were just beautiful. I wanted to see if your face matches personality, right? Now I'm free flowing. Now I'm dropping the filter, because you always have thoughts. I'm just dropping the filter, right? And I'm saying exactly what was on my mind. And because you're saying exactly what's on your mind, it's interesting, it's relevant, and it shows that you're present to the moment. Does that answer your question? Give me a thumbs up if you like the answer, right? Or give me a thumbs down if you didn't. But I hope you gave me a thumbs up, because I really like that question. All right, so what's another comment? Shroomy Soup. In night game for groups of girls, is it best to pull the whole group or isolate? Oh man, I love this question. I actually talk about this a lot in my book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. You should get it when it comes out in the next couple weeks. But let's talk about groups of girls, groups of people in night game, right? So I think the principles apply whether it's day or night, no matter where you are. But I think there's certain principles that apply everywhere, right? So I talk about the 5 windows of opportunity pretty often, right? And I actually just taught a course that's going to come out here for $1,000, and it's covering the 5 windows of opportunity. Now, there's 5 windows of opportunity to get any girl, from meeting her to sleeping with her or even dating her. There's 5 windows of opportunity. And if you miss one of these windows, if you don't act on one of these windows of opportunity, then that window will shut. And when it shuts, it's closed forever. Now, here are the 5 windows of opportunity, right? First one is you got to get her attention. We talked about this with the whole eye contact that I talked about earlier in this video. If you want to see me talk about eye contact, rewind about 10, 15 minutes, right? So first one is attention. You got to get her attention, right? And that's the way you meet her. Maybe your friend introduces you to her. Now you have her attention. Or if you're approaching her, daytime, nighttime, got to go up, got to say what's up, got to get her eye contact first. Got to get her attention. Second step, second window of opportunity, you got to attract her, right? You have to get her attracted to you. Third window of opportunity is you start connecting with her as a person. You start qualifying her, right? Fourth window of opportunity, isolation, right? Doesn't matter if this girl got introduced to you by her friends, your friends, or if you cold approach her, wherever you are, you gotta get her isolated if you want to sleep with her. She's not gonna sleep with you in a public room, right? In a room with people surrounding you. That's just common sense. So at some point, to answer your question, my man, you will have to isolate her, right? And then the fifth step is obviously physical escalation, but that's kind of like an iffy one because you can physically break the touch barrier and stuff early on as well. All right, so to answer your question, yes, you have to isolate at some point. Now, in that specific example, if she's with a group of friends and you're out, you met her out in a bar, if you want to pull her that night, if you want to, let's say, make out with her, you're going to have to do some level of isolation, right? Now, night game, there's a lot of different nuances. This is why guys pay me upwards of $2,000 just to work with them for one weekend and take them out and show them this stuff. But here's the thing. If you're with her friends, she can't have her friends on the top of her mind while she's talking to you, right? So, for example, if you're standing in a crowded bar, it's crowded shoulder to shoulder, there's a lot of music, right? There's so many distractions that can keep her from making out with you, going home with you, talking to you, and maintaining that attention, even if you have strong eye contact, right? So what you got to do at the very least is literally just turn her around and you around so that you're facing her friends and her back is to her friends. That way she's not looking at her friends, she's not thinking about her friends, she's thinking about the conversation with you. And in that case, you're not necessarily isolating her. You're just like making the conversation more focused on you, if that makes sense. But if you can, I always recommend when you get to a bar or a nightclub, immediately scope out, okay, where can I go for quiet conversation? Where in this place can I talk to someone very easily without having to talk over the music, without having to, overcome all these distractions, right? So if you start talking to a girl, you approach her on the dance floor, you approach her at the bar, you approach her in a group of friends, at some point, I would say the first step is turning her so her friends are out of sight. That way she can talk to you and not be focused on her friends. And two, when you can tell the conversation is still going good, that's when you say, hey, it's actually like really loud over here. Come with me. You grab her hand and you lead her. You do not seek her permission. You do not ask her, hey, do you want to come over here with me because it's kind of quieter over there, right? That's low status, if you will. So what you do is say, hey, it's loud right here. I can barely hear you. Come with me. You grab her hand and you go. And you lead her to that quieter part of the bar that you already scoped out when you first got there, right? And I've done this everywhere I went. Every bar has quiet places. By the bathroom, somewhere by a bar where there's bartenders, because bartenders got to be able to hear your order, right? Or in the VIP section is a very good place by the tables, right? And it depends on the club, but you'll be able to spot these places out right away when you get to places, especially if you make a habit of doing it, all right? So let me look at some of these other questions. All right. Milad. Yep, makes sense, dude. Dope. Awesome. I can't perform break, rapport, tonality. Can you give me a quick tutorial because otherwise my game would suck? All right, dude, I love this question, Milad Hashimi, about breaking rapport tonality. I don't even, if you've been through my program, the Magnetic Personality Formula, which is a video seminar that I filmed, and guys, it's my best-selling program by far. Or in my new book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl, that's coming out in the next week or two, I talk about this. I don't call it breaking rapport tonality. I don't call it seeking rapport tonality. Now, it's important to know that those tonalities will convey that, but at the same time, I think about the punctuation mark at the end of my sentences. I'm a visual person. So when I speak, I picture like the sentences being typed as they come out of my mouth. Right? It's kind of a weird way to think about it, but that's how I think about it, right? So if you imagine your sentences, or if you imagine like if you're sitting on a YouTube channel screen, right, on a YouTube video, and you turn the captions on, right? At the end of your sentence, is there a question mark? Is there a dot, dot, dot? Or is there an exclamation mark? Or is there a period, right? So if you think about question mark, the question tonality, hey, what's for dinner, right? That is a question mark. It's a question. And it's not low status. It's not always seeking rapport. It's not always a bad thing to ask questions. Like, where are you from anyways? Like, where are you from anyways? Right? Technically, that's a seeking rapport tonality, but I can still say it in a high status way because I know that everything else about me is not seeking rapport, right? I'm leaning back. I'm qualifying her. Those are all good traits. So if I want to ask a question in a seeking rapport tonality, because my body language and everything else is on point, it's fine, right? And you'll often hear if you come work with me or if you look at anybody else's like in-field footage, you'll notice that sometimes they do have a seeking rapport tonality, right? It's not a bad thing, but just keep in mind that if you want to have a breaking rapport tonality or a neutral rapport tonality, think about the punctuation mark at the end of your sentences. So if you end your sentence, let's just take the sentence, what's for dinner, right? Let's take that and think about it in terms of punctuation marks. So if I typed it out and said put a question mark at the end, or let's change this. I am a badass, right? Let's make that the sentence, right? If I put a question mark at the end of that, I go, I am a badass. I am a badass. right? It sounds like you're unsure of yourself. It sounds like you're asking a question, right? But if you put a period instead of the question mark, put a period at the end of that sentence, you go, I am a badass. That's a neutral rapport tonality. Neutral. You're not seeking, you're not breaking, you're just neutral. You're speaking like a robot. I am a badass, right? But you can also change that slightly, right? I am a badass. I am a badass. I am a badass, right? And when I say that, in essence, if you imagine like on a graph, like your tonality, it kind of goes up at the beginning or middle. That way you can drop it at the bottom, right? That way you can end your sentence going down, right? So I am a badass, right? That's how you take any sentence and make it break in rapport tonality. It's not always just like starting here neutral and then it goes down. It's almost like a up then down, because you go up, that way you can go down. Does that make sense? I'm a visual guy, so I try to explain things visually with my hands. But if that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. So I am a badass, right? I am a badass. I am a badass. It goes up and then down. That's a breaking rapport tonality. But if I just say it straight with a period at the end, I am a badass, right? Neutral. Question mark, I am a badass, all right? That's seeking rapport tonality. So let's bring this full circle. The other common mistake I see guys make with their tonality is they end their sentences with a dot, 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 right? It kind of trails off at the end. And one of the guys who I recently coached here in Phoenix, I worked with him in person quite a bit. This was his biggest sticking point. He was so unsure of his sentences that he wouldn't necessarily have a seeking rapport tonality, but he would trail off in volume at the end of his sentences. So if, for example, if I was reading the title of this book to you, right, the Ultimate Sales Letter, if I was speaking the way he was with this dot dot dot, I'd go the Ultimate Sales Letter, right? It kind of trails off at the end, right? And you think, wait, is he continuing his sentences? Is he finished talking, right? And it's kind of weird, and so it's almost as bad as the seeking rapport tonality. So don't do that. Make sure every sentence you say, just like I'm speaking now, think about how I speak to you on a YouTube video. I end every sentence with a hard period, right? I am a badass. The Ultimate Sales Letter. My passport hard drive, right? Every sentence ends with a period, a hard period. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if it makes sense, all right? Let me read some of these other comments. All right. Yeah. Dope. You deserve so much more subs. I don't know how you only have 2K subs. Dude, YouTube is weird because to get people to see your videos, not only do you have to have a good thumbnail and a good title, but you also have to have good tags. And you also have to get a certain amount of views in the first couple of hours that it comes out. So YouTube is less of a game about like how good your content is. I mean, good content is key. It's how you keep attention. But YouTube is interesting because you have to get the marketing down packed. You have to know exactly who your target market is, and you have to know what they're typing in and know what they're searching for and know what they're looking at. That way you can reach them. And up until recently, I didn't really make it a priority to learn how to do that, right? At first, when I first started putting out videos, I was really focused on delivering content consistently. Now I'm focused on delivering high quality content, but in a way that's actually gonna be found, if that makes sense. So I agree with you, man. I would love to have 100,000 people follow me. My goal is 1 million. I write it down in my journal every day. I want 1 million subscribers, and we'll get there for sure. But you know, we're on the come up, right? We're on the come up, man. So get excited and stay tuned. All right, so Patrick, there's a nip technique called tapping used to cure anxiety by releasing trapped energy. What's your best way to approach anxiety? Dude, I love this question, my man. I love this question. Dude, I also like that you guys are like interacting with me and giving me some good questions. This is dope. All right, so I actually talk about this in my book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. Actually, before I get to your question, I got a question for you. I have 2 cover designs that I'm thinking about using for my book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl. Like I said, this book is coming out in the next week or so. I just got to choose one of these cover designs so that I can approve the proof, like the physical copy that they send me. I can approve it, and then we can start selling it and launching the book out. So I want to get your opinion and see what cover you like best. All right, so I have 2 options. There's only one small difference. All right, can you see this? So this is the first one, 107 proven ways to get the girl. The only difference here is this girl right here, right? This is option number 2, 107 proven ways to get the girl, right? And then it has this girl. That's the only difference. And then the subtitle is The Raw Secrets of Attracting Women Anytime, Anywhere. That's my book. It's a physical book. It's coming out. Let me know which book cover you guys like best. Option number 1 with the girl who's all black, or option number 2 with the girl with the white panties. All right? Let me know. Option number 1 or option number 2. Let me know in the comment section which one you guys like best. I'm curious. I want to take a poll. I want to deliver a book that's dope that you guys actually like. All right? So, back to your question. How do I approach curing approach anxiety, right? So, I have a really good exercise, and I actually have 2 coaching clients in specifically. I have a actual mastermind right now that I run with my good friend Adam Galad. It's a small group mastermind. It's a small group coaching group. There's 3 guys in it right now. They each paid $6,000 up front just to join, right? All right. So in this group, we talked a lot about this, curing approach anxiety, holding strong eye contact. It all comes down to, how do you handle tension, right? How do you handle tension? So the best exercise that I've found to learn how to overcome approach anxiety, handle tension myself, is very, very simple. And I talk about this, I forget the exact chapter, but it's in this book, and it's called cold showers, right? And I've talked about this before, but cold showers. So if you imagine yourself right now, if you are not used to taking cold showers, imagine going into your bedroom or your bathroom right now, and you turn the shower on, really cold as it can go, right? Now, before you get in, you can feel like the sprinkles of the cold water hitting your body. You're like, ooh, that feels cold. I don't want to get into that. That's going to be painful. That's going to shock my system, right? And that feeling right there is the same exact feeling of anxiety that you get before you approach a girl. The anxiety you have before jumping into a cold shower that's freezing cold is the same anxiety that you have before approaching a hot girl, especially in public, right? So if you can train yourself to overcome that anxiety every single day when you take a cold shower, it becomes habitual, it becomes natural. You feel the anxiety and you feel it, but you do it anyways, right? That's the same concept of approaching women. Approaching anxiety, I'm sorry to break it to you, will never, ever, ever go away. Never, right? The only thing that changes the more you approach women is how you handle it. The only thing that changes is the fact that you feel it, but you know that you got this anyways and you jump in. You know that you'll be okay. You know that you won't die. You know that cold shower won't kill you, just like you know approaching a girl won't kill you. And if you can train yourself to overcome that every single day, then that's how you overcome approach anxiety. I've never personally used your tapping technique, right? But I do take cold showers, okay? So, next question. Okay. If I talk to a girl for around 1 week, then we both kind of stop talking, are my chances over? Or is there some way I could spike something? Yo, like this question. I actually talked about this in my email newsletter yesterday, right? So if you don't already know, if you're a subscriber on YouTube, I have an email newsletter. It's called Raw Dating Advice Daily. I deliver daily tips to your email inbox. I don't really sell a whole lot because honestly, I don't have a whole lot of shit to sell you yet, right? I got this book that's coming out in the next week or so, so I'm going to be talking about that on my email list, right? And those are going to be the first guys who are able to pick up my book. But that said, every single day I've been doing a Q&A this week, right? Just like this, I've been doing those on my email newsletter, typing them out every day. And we talked about this. What do you do if a girl goes cold on you? What do you do if a girl ghosts you? Especially just for 1 week, bro. 1 week, that's it, right? There's sometimes I don't talk to my girlfriend for a week. Why? Because I'm just so fucking busy, all right? So 1 week is nothing, okay? So if you feel like a girl's going cold on you, or if you feel like a girl is ghosting you, don't take it personally. The worst thing that you can do is get emotional, right? This is just like shit tests, right? If a girl tests you, the worst thing that you can do is start reacting to her emotionally. Get mad, upset, or curious, or angry, or, sad, right? That's the worst thing you can do. The best thing you can do is do you. Do you, right? I talked about this with Malad Hashimi. He's really big into card magic, sleight of hand card magic. And that's the biggest asset that he has right now, is the fact that he has something in his life that he prioritizes over everything else, right? So if you don't have that, then you're sorely fucking up. And that's actually one of the chapters, one of the secrets I teach in my book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl, is always have a mission in life, right? So if you have something going on in your life, then a girl ghosting you is not a negative, it's actually a positive, right? If my girl gets mad at me and doesn't talk to me for 4 days or whatever, I don't even notice because I'm so busy launching this book. I'm so busy making YouTube videos that if a girl hates herself enough to not want to talk to me for an entire week, that's on her. And I won't even notice likely, right? Because I got other things going on. Now, I have a girlfriend, and that's my example with my girlfriend. But if I was single, you better believe that I wouldn't have just one option, right? If one girl falls off, I wouldn't even notice because I'd have 10 other girls that I'm texting. All right. So have options. Keep your options open. Number one. Number two, have something in your life that's more important than women, and you'll be good, man. This won't even bother you. Now, to answer your question, to get back to your question, if a girl does go cold on you, do you still have a chance? Yes, of course. Right. I told a little bit about my story earlier on in this live stream about how I got my heart broken and what I was doing to try to impress these girls. Right. Both of these girls, 2 girls in a row, they went cold on me. They broke my heart. They crushed me. Right? But when that happened, that's like the turning point that got me into working on myself and working on dating advice. And when I got good at this stuff, literally like a year later, one of these girls hit me up to hang out. We went to dinner. She took me out to dinner, right? And I just like fucked around, got drunk. I even was hitting on the waitress at dinner. And we went back to my home and fucked each other, right? We had sex, right? That was a year later. And why did that happen? Because her going cold on me did not affect me. It didn't affect me emotionally. In fact, the only way that I was affected was it inspired me to work harder on myself, right? And at that point, I had so many options with women that when I finally did hook up with a girl who I wanted so badly before, I didn't even want her anymore. Like it was like me telling you, dude, you gotta go to this fucking restaurant and get this appetizer. It's the best thing you've ever had in the world. It's so good. You're gonna pass out. You're gonna get weak in the knees because this food is so amazing. And then you go and try it and you go, I mean, yeah, it was good, but like it wasn't the best I've ever had. That was kind of how it felt hooking up with the girl who I wanted so badly for so long, right? And then the other girl, the second girl who broke my heart, dude, she still follows me on Instagram. Why? Because I have options. Because I have things going on. Because her going cold on me didn't affect me negatively. It just inspired me to improve myself. Does that make sense, man? Does that make sense? So your chances are not gone. Just do what I told you to do. Work on yourself, have a mission in life, and have options. All right. Yo, so Owen Brooks, he likes the second one. Pete likes the second one. Malad likes the first one. This is interesting because I've been polling people all day on what they like best, and I've actually gotten 50-50 results, and it's exactly what you guys are saying in the comments here. All my friends are like, I like this one, I like that one. It's literally 50-50. It's down the middle. Owen Brooks, man, I'm not Team Capital. I'm Team Raw Dating Advice, right? I'm part of the Raw Dating Advice family, right? Team Capital, it's slightly different than me. Like he focuses on building a freedom lifestyle. I focus on becoming the most attractive version of yourself and giving raw dating advice that actually works, right? It's a slightly different mission, but yes, Jason Capital did help me get my start as a dating coach. Like I owe that guy the world, right? I love that guy. He's one of my good friends. I partied with him last month and a couple months ago when he was here in Scottsdale. The guy's dope, and I have a lot to learn from him as far as like business wise. But we're doing big things here too on Raw Dating Advice. All right. Let's see. Other question. Patrick James for president. Hell yes. Raw Dating Advice. Fuck yes. All right. Let me show you this again, just in case some of you guys came late and missed it. I'm polling you guys. I want to know which cover should I approve and send to the publisher, yo? So we got option number 1, which has the girl who's in all black, or option number 2, who has the girl who has the white lingerie on. Which book cover looks the best, my man? So, like I said, I've gotten a lot of mixed results as far as people's opinions. A lot of people, it's literally 50-50. A lot of people like this one because they think it looks cleaner, it looks more modern and elegant, and it doesn't take attention away from the guy, which some people like. Other people like this one because it shows a girl taking her clothes off, and it's kind of interesting, right? But I want to know what you guys think. All right. Personally, I'm leaning towards option number 1 with the girl in all black, but I want to know what you guys think because this book is not for me, it's for you. All right. So let me know in the comment section. Matthew Schultz, he likes all black. Anil likes the second one with the white. Malat Hashimi is trying to promote his Instagram. All right, man. Yo, let me fall back on another question that got submitted to me on the email address on the email list. Yo, by the way, if you guys are not on my email newsletter and you like this content on my YouTube channel, join the email newsletter because we've been doing Q&As on there every day this week. I send them. This is the first thing I do when I wake up. I type in email newsletter, answer your guys' question. That way, I'm winning your guys' business. When this book comes out, I want you to know that if my free advice is this good, you're going to love the shit that's in this book, right? One of the few people, Matthew Schultz, actually, he just commented, he's one of like the 3 people in this world because he's in my coaching group who has this book, right? So he can tell you himself, it's fucking gold, right? Lincoln Park says, if the girl starts talking to me first and shows interest, such as complimenting my facial features, doesn't mean she's into me or is she just nice? Dude, I already answered this question at the beginning. It was the first question I answered. Always assume positive things. Always assume that a girl is into you, and if she doesn't know it yet, she soon will be. If you come from that mindset, no longer are you looking for signs of attraction. Now you're just acting like an attractive guy with everybody that you meet. All right, so Matthew Schultz says the book is fucking great. I would agree. It's the best. I'm gonna make a bold claim here, and this isn't a bold claim because it's the motherfucking truth. I have read every single book on the dating market for men, every relevant book. I've read every single book from any other dating coach you name. I've read the book. I've bought their products. I know the dating niche forwards and backwards. I know what people are teaching. I know what people are not teaching. I know whose advice works, and I know whose advice is complete bullshit. I'm telling you right now, this book is going to rock the dating industry. This book is going to revolutionize the lives of whoever gets this book. It's that good. It's everything I know about the topic of attracting women, right? This book is not going to teach you sex techniques, but you will learn a couple of them. It's going to teach you everything that will make a girl attracted to you. Now, here's my thing. There's different types of attraction. Attraction, yes, is step 1. You have to do it right off the bat, right after you meet her. You have to attract her. But it's also a spice in the dish that you have to sprinkle in until the end of time. It doesn't matter if you're with this girl for 1 night, 1 week, or 10 years. You have to keep attracting her. You have to keep it a spice in the dish. So that said, there's 3 different types of attraction. 3 different types. They can range anywhere from like, oh, this guy's interesting, to who the fuck is this guy? I love him. I want to be with him for forever. And I want this guy inside of me right now, right? There's 3 different types of attraction, and you have to make her feel all those different types at different points in your interaction, in your relationship with her, right? So my book, this is just an example book, right? But my book has 107 different chapters. Each chapter is 1 to 2 pages long because I want each chapter to be bite-sized. I want you to be able to whip out this book on the fucking shitter and be able to finish a chapter, right? There should be no excuse for you to not read this book. It's short, it's bite-sized, it's actionable, right? So that said, I divided it into 3 sections because there's 100 different chapters divided into 3 sections. First section is intrigue, right? In that chapter, I'm going to teach you all the different attraction techniques that are proven to work that actually make a girl think, who is this guy? He's actually really interesting. I want to get to know more about him. It makes you a blip on her radar, right? It makes her focus on you. It's enough to hook her into the conversation and want to get to know more about you. Second section is lust. That's where we talk about all the attraction techniques that I know that will teach you how to make a girl start thinking about you sexually, right? These are, if you do any one of these, she's going to start thinking about, I want to kiss this guy, I want to touch this guy, I want to fuck this guy. It's going to create so much sexual chemistry that she won't be able to contain herself. And then the third section is obsession. This is how you get a girl devoted to you. This is how you get a girl to be your girlfriend. This is how you date a girl who's willing to have threesomes and foursomes with you. This is how you get a girl with you long term, is sparking obsession. And that's the third section of the book. And then I have an extra section where I interviewed some of my good friends to come in and give some advice. Guys like Ryan McGinn, guys like Adam Galad, guys like Rob Judge and Marnie Kinreys. Like, these are some of the people who I've brought in to also contribute to this book. So this book is going to rock the dating industry. I'm so excited. So let's answer some more questions because I'm done talking about my book for now. All right. Lincoln Park, team dating advice your mother wouldn't approve of. Yo, that dude. This brings up another question. I'm trying to come up with a catchy name for our family, right? We're a family here on YouTube. I'm trying to come up with a catchy name to call you guys, because I'm tired of saying just you guys, right? I want to call you something so that way we can feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves, right? Right? We're on a mission here. We're taking over the globe. We're revolutionizing the dating industry, right? I might only have like just under 3,000 subscribers right now, but we're on the road to 1 million, right? That's just an inevitable fact. So what should I start calling you guys, right? I've been calling you guys the Raw Dating Advice family here for the last couple months, but I want to know your suggestions. So leave those comments below. King Ai says, how do I stay totally present in conversation? I get confused when people say be present. Like, do I not have thoughts? Because I can have thoughts. Here is the thing, my man, right? When you will always have thoughts. You will never clear your mind, right? You will never clear your mind. But when you're present, when I talk about being present, I talk about, or how do you listen to her, right? When you're talking, when I'm talking, I'm present because I'm thinking about like what I'm saying so that I can deliver value, right? That's one aspect of being present. But the other one is what happens when you're talking to me? Am I thinking about what I had for dinner? Am I thinking about, oh, is this girl going to text me back? No, I'm present. I'm listening to you. You have my full attention. That's what I mean by presence, right? And when I'm thinking, I'm not clearing my thoughts. I'm present because I'm thinking about what you're saying to me, right? So does that make sense? So the only way that I would recommend practicing to be present, because it's the proven practical method to being present, and I teach this in my book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl, is being like meditation, right? Meditation has been used by millions of people, right? And it's been around for thousands of years. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Start practicing meditation. I actually learned how to meditate by taking a workshop with a Buddhist monk, a real life Buddhist monk. And he was bald, he was about this tall, and he wore like the red robe that Buddhist monks wear. And it really surprised me how simple meditation is, right? And I don't want to make this a woo-woo hippie live stream, but literally all you're doing when you meditate, you're not clearing your mind, you're observing your thoughts. That's it. So if I have thoughts, if my mind has a lot of thoughts, I don't try to get rid of those thoughts. I just observe them, right? So I like to imagine this as like clouds in the sky, right? If you look up at the sky, you can see the clouds in the sky, but you're not grabbing onto the clouds, right? You're just watching them flow by, right? So if I close my mind and I'm sitting here meditating, the thoughts are still going, but I'm not letting them affect my emotions. Does that make sense? I'm not grabbing to them because I'm not letting them affect my emotions, right? I just see that they're there. I acknowledge that they are there, but I don't let them affect my emotions. That's it. I just observe them. So start doing this for 5 minutes a day. This is what the Buddhist monk said. He said, you don't have to meditate for 4 hours at a time. You don't. It's not practical, right? He doesn't even meditate for 4 hours at a time. 5 minutes a day is all you need. When you wake up, before you go to bed, after you eat lunch, right after your workout, whatever time you want to fit in those 5 minutes, 5 minutes a day is all you need. And that will make you more present in conversation. And when I say present in conversation, I don't mean that you're not thinking. I mean that you're engaged with the person you're talking to. Okay? Does that make sense? All right. So, Owen Brooks likes My Attraction Warriors. Lincoln Park says Pussy Slayers in training. Also, how do you control your emotions in a badass way? Yo, I heard this quote once. It's so good. Emotions are not commands. They are biological suggestions. Think about that. All right. Say one secret in attracting women you wouldn't teach anywhere else. One secret in attracting women I wouldn't teach anywhere else. I like this. Well, here's the thing. I don't withhold value, right, Milad? I'm going to teach all my attraction secrets if I have to, right? I put them all into this book because guys who want all of them in one place, get them. But, I've been teaching them for a long time. Things like meditation, things like cold shower. Like, these are certain aspects of my book, but I got 107 of them in this book. So One of the biggest ones. One of my coaching clients right now, I won't say his name, but he's in my coaching group, one of my coaching groups, and he's really big on like he thinks negatively about like his self-talk, right? He talks negatively to himself all day. These thoughts running through his head are something that we call the imposter syndrome. He thinks he's not worthy of the things in his life. So, for example, he actually was in bed with a girl who's a decade younger than he is, right? She was like 23, and he was about to sleep with her, but the thoughts in his head was like, this girl doesn't like me. At any minute she's gonna let me know that she's joking around and she's not actually into me. Like, I don't deserve this girl. These are the thoughts going through this guy's head, right? He's talking negatively to himself. So this isn't something that I wouldn't teach anywhere, right? I teach all my stuff everywhere, right? But I call it the personal pep talk, your personal pep talk. And this is one of the attraction secrets I reveal in my upcoming book. But it's your personal pep talk. You got to take your negative emotions, because if you are the type of guy who thinks negatively about different things in his life or about the things happening to him in his life, it's because it's a habit, right? You've been doing it for so long that you do it by habit without even thinking. It's a subconscious process. So one way to stop that habit and start a new habit is to start a new habit. It's that simple. Stop this old habit and start a new one, and then practice the new one until it becomes your default habit. So I teach something in my book called your personal pep talk. It's secret number 2 of 107. And all it is a new daily habit that you should start every morning or every night before you go to bed, or after taking a shit when you're washing your hands, right? Start doing a personal pep talk. And all you do is look in the mirror and start talking to yourself positively. Start hyping yourself up. Pretend you're Patrick James for a second. Get amped up and start telling yourself how awesome you are. I'm fucking awesome. I got this shit. Women love me, right? If you start talking yourself up, giving yourself a personal pep talk in the mirror, 2 minutes, 3 minutes a day, that's gonna stop the negative the negative talk train, and it's gonna start a new habit of positive self-talk. And if you do just that one thing, if you change your thoughts to be positive, right? Is this girl attracted to me? Fuck that thought. Start thinking, these girls are attracted to me even if they don't know it yet, right? Imagine that. These girls are attracted to me even if they don't know it yet, right? If you start telling yourself in your personal pep talk every morning or once a day for 2 to 3 minutes a day, imagine the results that you're gonna start getting. Imagine how you're gonna start framing different conversations. Imagine how you're gonna start thinking about different people while you're talking to them. You're going to be the source of positive emotions. You're going to assume all positive things. And you're going to be fun to be around, right? That's one of the best attraction secrets that I could possibly give you. And it's just one of 107 that I reveal in my book. Oh, man, I'm so excited. All right. Let's see some of your other questions. Any other questions you guys got? I said I was going to be here for about an hour. We're coming up on that hour. So if you got any questions, let me know right now. Now's the time. All right. Or I can just continue talking about my book. That's cool too. Let me show you guys the cover again so you can vote. So we got two covers. Which one do you like the best? Option number 1, option number 2. The only difference is that option number 2 has a girl in white lingerie, and option number 1 has this girl in all black, right? And I've been getting mixed results. I've been getting 50-50 answers. Everybody is divided on this issue, so I want to know what you think, because I got to choose a cover like by tonight, really, and send it to the publisher so I can launch this book in the next week or two. Option number 1, Malat Hashimi. So I got another question. Football World says, how do I approach a girl in my class if she's always going to talk with one of her friends? She calls me over whenever she has the chance to try to get to know me, but I've never approached first. Ignore my dumbass name and pay. All right. So first off, if you are a high school kid who's approaching girls in your class, I wouldn't, right? I wouldn't think about it as cold approaching or approaching, right? I would think about it as sparking attraction. I'll give you a story here. I have a friend, I won't say his name, but he has a really huge mansion in Las Vegas. Now, if you go back to some of my videos from like a year and a half, two and a half years ago, holy shit, 2.5 years ago, you'll see me like walking through a ginormous mansion making videos. That's this guy's house, right? And he has like a Porsche, a Tesla, like all these nice cars. And I remember we're going to the gym, and I get into his Porsche, I climb into his Porsche, and I go, dude, holy shit, you have a Porsche. This is a dope car, right? And he said to me something that stuck with me ever since. He said, yo, don't call it a Porsche. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. It's just a tiny car that's really hard to get into and out of. That's it. It's so true. The Porsche is unnecessarily more complicated than it needs to be to get into and out of. Maybe it's just because I'm a tall guy, right? But that's all it is. It's a tiny car with a fancy name. That's it, right? So rather than calling it approaching women, call it, I like her, I'm gonna go start a conversation with her. Don't make it more than it is. Say what it really is, right? And when you call it out for what it actually is, it makes it seem like less of a daunting task, right? So in my opinion, on your question here, how do you approach a girl in your class? And then you said she already calls you over to talk to her. Dude, why are you trying to approach her? She's already starting the conversation with you. She's doing half the work. That's great. I'm not gonna put any more work on myself than I need to. If she's doing the work of starting the conversation already, even better, right? From there, you can use any of the things that you've learned from me as far as like sparking attraction to get her into you, right? And if you don't know which one to use, or if you haven't seen any of my videos yet, subscribe, right? Subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and get on my email list so that you are one of the first people who's notified about my upcoming book, 107 Proven Ways to Get the Girl, The Raw Secrets of Attracting Women Anytime, Anywhere. And here's the thing, man. This book, as you can probably tell by now, is going to be a physical book like this one, right? Like all these books that I got on my bookshelf. I got books for days, yo. And I got a bookshelf over here, right? Bookshelf. It's going to be one of those physical books. And because it's a physical book, it's like I can't sell it to everybody, right? I actually have a limited amount of copies, right? It's not like a file you can download that a million people can download at the same time and there's enough for everybody. There's only going to be a few hundred of these printed. A few hundred, right? And if you want to be one of the guys who gets the book when it comes out and won't have to wait until we print some more, get on my email list. Those are going to be the first guys who get dibs at this book when it comes out in the next week or two. So go to swaggersocial.com, type in your name and email address. You will be subscribed to Raw Dating Advice, the newsletter. And just like I said, we've already been doing Q&As just like this every single day on that email newsletter this week and the week before that, right? We've been delivering value every day. So if you like this one, like this video, join the email newsletter. You're still going to get a lot of value from that email newsletter. And you're going to be the first one to get first dibs at these books when they are printed in the next week or two. All right. So that's it. I think that's a good stopping point for today, man. We're 62 minutes now. I've answered so many questions. I've interacted with you guys. You guys have given me your opinion on these books. And we're going to make this happen, man. So join the email newsletter. Go to swaggersocial.com. And I'll see you guys in another video, in another email newsletter, and when this book comes out. And also, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Secondly, I will be doing more of these live Q&As as well, especially as my book starts coming closer to launching. I'm going to be delivering more value and talking more about specific dates and things like that. So hit the notification bell. That way you're notified when I do have one of these live streams. So that way, you can be here and be present and be part of the Raw Dating Advice family, or the Pussy Slayers in Training, or the Attraction Warriors, right? I'm trying to figure out a name to call you guys, all right? So, Greg V says, you're the GOAT. Lad, colognes you recommend, whichever one smells best. Get on the email list. Ooh, King IE says he's on it and it is lit. Yo. All right. On that note, I'll see you guys later, my man. Peace out.